The Philippine Nurses Association of Nevada now brings you FILIPINARS, news and features about the Filipino-American nursing community and beyond. And now, here's your host, Doris Bauer.
Well, hello to all of you FILIPINARS listeners and followers. Thank you for joining us today. Today, we are here live at the FAB Expo. FAB stands for Filipino American Best, and this year is being held at the Orleans Casino, Hotel and Casino. So we have lots of things to say and to see and to say about the Filipino culture, the Philippine exhibits, and the Philippine vendors that are promoting the Philippine culture. And it's a good termination to the end of October, and October was designated as the Filipino Heritage Month. So welcome, and today we are conducting our FILIPINARS podcast here live at the Orleans FAB Expo. Okay. So we also have a very interesting topic to discuss today in FILIPINARS, and it's all about action coalitions. So action coalitions are led by nurses and business partners who work together to transform healthcare through nursing and therefore building better and healthier communities. There are action coalitions in almost every state in our nation, including Washington, D.C. And these action coalitions carry out their campaign from a local, a regional, and a state level. And according to the Action Coalition website, multi-sector coalitions extend beyond nursing and healthcare, and there is about 2,000 organizations involved with this, and they work together to build health equity. So our state has one, and it's called the Nevada Action Coalition. So we invited two of the board members of the Nevada Action Coalition to actually talk to us about the activities. So we welcome Lisa Pacheco, actually Dr. Lisa Marie Pacheco, and Ms. Deborah Gulley-Collins. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you for having us. We're honored to be here.
Oh, thank you. We've been wanting to get you here for a very long time, so I'm so honored and I'm so glad. So let's start with Dr. Lisa Marie Pacheco. Lisa, as I call her, has been a nurse for some 32 years, from the bedside to the boardroom, and she's actually the president of the Hispanic Nursing Association, and she is the treasurer of the Nevada Action Coalition, and just recently got her doctorate, right?
Correct. I got my doctorate, and I diverted from nursing and went into public policy.
Oh.
I found early on in my nursing career that if you could change policy, you could not only change the outcomes for the patients, but you can change the world of nursing for the nurses as well. And so I've been working on policy for probably 2/3, if not longer, of my career. And when I went for my doctorate, I decided that my degree would be in public policy so that I can help pave the way for the future of nursing through policy.
Oh, good. Wow, I didn't know such a doctorate was available in policy.
Correct.
Wow,
it is an emergency or an emerging degree. It is Doctor of Public Policy, and it is emerging because policy is important, and it really does change all factions of our world that we work in. If you can change the rules, you can change the outcomes.
That's right.
So we work on writing policy and making sure that we avoid unintended outcomes and that we make things better for not only the patients but for the nurses.
For the nurses as well, right?
We need to protect our nurses.
Yes. Right. Well, that's fantastic. Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Okay. And Ms. Deborah Gulley-Collins, Deb, as I call her, has been a nurse, and she is currently the director of the Nevada Nursing Workforce Center, and also a vice chair for the Nevada Action Coalition. So, Deb, can you tell us a little bit about your work and yourself?
Sure. I've been a nurse for over 30 years, originally from Seattle, Washington, and was public health nurse. So more so community education, going into the homes and providing services. And when I moved here, I got involved in workforce development. So I worked for the local workforce board, being a mentor to students, really working with our 16 to 21-year-olds to really get them interested in the healthcare field. So provided many services for them.
That's good. Well, we're actually excited to learn about you guys' work. Anyway, okay, let's feel free to answer each one. So, tell us about NAC, or the Nevada Action Coalition. What is its mission and the goals?
Well, the mission is basically to, we started back in 2014
Yes.
with the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, and we
Okay.
received funding to develop our action coalition. It took us a couple of times. It wasn't easy, but we were able to do that. And basically the mission of the Action Coalition is part of the Future of Nursing, and it's a nationwide movement and really looking at health and healthcare and nursing initiatives. And that's working with AARP as well as the Campaign for Action. So the mission is to champion, through strategic collaborations, access high-quality health care for Nevadans where nurses are in the lead. And so that is our mission.
Yes, that's the mission. And you started this when?
2014.
2014. I should say we, because
Yes.
I love working with
Yes,
the NAC.
we became an action
We became
coalition.
an action
Yes.
coalition in 2014.
14.
Very good, very good. So who are your, you have anything to add to that?
I was going to
Lisa?
add to that I think it's really important to note that it may have started in 2014, but the work started many years
ago.
that. Yes. So
Yes.
It's been a foundation that's been laid that's very strong in Nevada.
Very good, very good. So who are your board members?
Board members are myself and Lisa. Lisa's our treasurer. I'm the vice chair. Kathy Hamill is our president. Peggy
right.
Lee is our secretary. We have Deborah Scott, Marissa Brown, Vance Farrell. Try not to forget anyone.
Dr. Files.
Dr. Elizabeth Files, as well as Dr. Deborah Toney, who actually is our chair emeritus.
Chair emeritus,
She
right.
started the Action Coalition with us.
Ah.
And then also we have named members. So that is Dr. Sherry Lindsay, who's the chair. Rosemary Thuet is the vice chair, and Dr. Amelia Reyes is the secretary.
Okay, so NANE, N-A-N-E, is the Nevada Alliance for Nursing Excellence, right?
Correct.
So you have all the officers that are part of Nevada Action Coalition.
Yes.
And you also have stakeholders, right?
Yes.
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 Can you? Who are those?
We have stakeholders. We have GOED, which is the Governor's Office of Economic Development. We also have OWN, which is the Office of Innovation Network.
Innovation, right. You have the Nevada State Board of Nursing, too,
Nevada
right?
State Board of Nursing. We work with Goodwill of Southern Nevada. We work with the workforce boards, an array of nursing organizations. We work with all
like
of them as well.
PNANV.
Exactly,
Right?
exactly.
Okay. And also you work with DETR, right?
Correct.
DETR.
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
Very good, very good. So, okay. Let's talk about the activities of the Nevada Action Coalition. And let's start with, the Nevada Action Coalition is involved in so many activities to help out the nursing and our health equity situation. And one of these is the Future of Nursing in Nevada Awards. Can you tell us about that?
So the Future of Nursing, the term kind of came out of the research that was done by the office, the
Institute of Medicine.
Institute of Medicine. It came out of that, and there were recommendations for the future of nursing, how to build the future of nursing. So we built our program around that, and we still use that as our guiding roadmap.
Right.
So the future of nursing in Nevada, and it's different for every state. Every
Correct.
state has its own issues, its own dynamics, its own demographics that they have to deal with. So Nevada being a very transient state, the future of nursing has been difficult to navigate because it's ever changing, and we have to be fluid and we have to change with it as it changes. So what we've evolved into is the Nevada Action Coalition is kind of the catch-all for the action that's happening around the future of nursing in Nevada.
Right.
So we have NANE now who's working with us. And so that's going to help us to get everybody at the table educators, the people who are helping build that foundational boxes and that we can rise up on.
Directors.
So we also have the Workforce Center, which is been laying within the Nevada Action Coalition, but it's funded by grants and galas. And you know, if you've ever done grants, you know that your grants are very, very limited.
Yes.
And you have to function within your grant objectives, the budgets. And when the grant goes away, the program goes away. So we've received grants and we've gotten really great things going on with it. When we had to stop doing the program because our grant ended, we have done really great things with gala money, where we have been able to continue the best parts of our programs to make sure that they continue to, the ones that we know are working, that are successful, to make sure that they continue to go. But we cannot continue to live off of grants and galas, so we're looking for sustainable funding for the Action Coalition and the Workforce Center and for NAN. We need to be on somebody's budget line to make sure that we are continuing to do what we need to do, and that it doesn't get fractured or fall when the grants leave.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about the workforce, right? But at the recently we held an awards for the FONN, Future of Nursing, where you recognized a lot of people. And tell us about some of those awards, Deb.
Oh my gosh, we had the Nurse Champion, which was given to Carla Perez from Valley Healthcare System. I think my favorite is the Dr. Susan Adamak Award.
Yes.
Dr. Adamak was our treasurer that started with us at the beginning, and so we honor her. We lost her a few years ago.
Yeah.
So that is a person that's an educator.
Yes.
So that was very special. Yes. This year we actually did a CNA of the Year award, and that was a first for us. We had a student from our program, NB Hope, and she was a young lady that came to our class. She was homeless. We did not know that until the last day of our class. She received her CNA. She went to work. She is now a supervisor at one of the facilities and has bought herself a car. She has an apartment. She's living her best life. And she comes and talks to our students about the struggle. The students that we work with have many barriers. And so we try to alleviate some of those. But the work of the NB Hope, and I'll kind of segue into that, is a labor of love for myself and Linda Pollock, my colleague. And it's looking at underrepresented individuals who want to get into healthcare but don't know how to. And so we reached out to Valley Healthcare System, and they were delighted to work with us to give our students a chance for employment. And they wanted diversity, which is one of the issues that we work with at the Action Coalition. And it's been phenomenal. They go to school, they go through our boot camp, which is a 5-day boot camp, really working with soft skills, as well as preparing them to get into healthcare. They go to a tour to the UNLV simulation lab, and they're in their scrubs. And when they come back, they can realize and they can see themselves working in healthcare.
That's fantastic.
So it's been great. It's been a great program.
That's one of the activities, ladies and gentlemen, of Nevada Action Coalition is the Nevada Hope. Okay, so you also offer scholarships, right?
Correct. And we like to combine those with our gala, which is really a cool event because we don't do gowns. It's jeans, jackets, and jewels. So, you know, as nurses, we always have to go out and buy that gown, and then you have to buy a new one because you can't be seen in it next year, too. Or at the next event. So this really gives everybody a chance to just kind of dress up but still be a little bit casual and not have to go into their bank account to buy something major to come to the event. I think it's really great that we combine it with our scholarships, and I think that one of the things that when I hear Deb talk about the students is we bring our students to our event, and we include them because this is part of their professional development to understand that nursing isn't just clock in and clock out and taking care of a task during a 12-hour shift. We're professionals. and this is part of their professional development.
Yes,
It's part
yes.
of teaching you about networking, about striving to build the future of nursing, becoming an integral part of building the future of nursing. And I think that that's really one of the great highlights of our gala, and what we do is immersing those students in with all of these mentors who are ready to grab onto them and take them to wherever they want to go. So it's a lot of fun, and I think that that's what I see the Nevada Action Coalition. If I had to describe it in one sentence, it would be a gathering place of mentors and mentees building the future of nursing, because that's what we do. And I get chills when I talk about it.
That's exactly
It's
what
so
we do.
fun.
That's really good. And,
It is.
and yeah, you do work with students. I see that. And that's a good program that you have, working with students, offering them scholarships, so that they can further their journey in getting to be,
Absolutely.
a nurse or somewhere in the healthcare profession, right?
Right.
And we
Exactly.
recognize that the scholarships aren't just for new nurses or for emerging nurses. It's for the professionals who are already in the systems, or whatever, however you want to describe it.
Right.
We will fund somebody to go to a conference or something like that, so that they can build on that. We realize that it's not just feeding the pipeline. We have to take care of those of us who are professionals and already immersed. So.
Good, awesome. So, as part of the Action Coalition goal, you also work with community partners, right? You work with a lot of community partners, and recently you gave an award to Goodwill of Southern Nevada as your best community partner for this year. So can you tell us a little bit about how community partners work with you guys and why Goodwill?
Well, this year with the NV Hope program, Goodwill really is the funder of the program. They have healthcare training sprints, and so the CNA is one of them. So they fund all of our students completely. They pay for all their training, all their books, uniforms, everything. Also help with placement as well as we do as well. So they are a huge integral partner, and we've been working with them now for 3 years, and we're going into our 4th year.
Okay, great. I know Goodwill is such a good organization. They train people, even the disabled people, to come and work for them.
That's right.
And it's really, they're a very, very good organization. Yeah, I know one of my, my cousins who has since passed, he had a little bit of disability, and he was actually trained, Goodwill. And he was able to get the job.
Right.
It was so good.
Right.
It was so
Goodwill
very
has
good.
done an incredible job with the marginalized communities and helping us raise up and, find our way and make sure that we find some place that we enjoy working. And I really like this program that they have with NV Hope, because not only does it help us with Feed the Pipeline, but it also is getting the students a wide range of services that they might not have had access to. I think one of the things that really surprised me when Deborah and Linda Pollock started on this journey was some of the students didn't have closed-toed shoes to wear to their clinicals.
Yeah.
What did they do? They made sure they designed the program to make sure that everybody had a uniform. That
it's as simple as shoes. It's wonderful, you know.
Well, and then one of the things that we found out in the Hispanic Nurses Association is we can get somebody all the way through school, but then what happens when they can't afford to get licensed? So the Goodwill took care of that as well for the CNAs.
Right.
Because we can't just get them to the end and then say, all right.
No.
Here you are.
You have to get them all the way through the finish line.
Correct.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right.
And the other thing too with our employer partners is that they all offer tuition reimbursement. So after working for 6 months, then you have the opportunity for up to $25,000 a year, which is phenomenal in these times for students to go back to school.
Wow. Well, Nevada Hope, and also Goodwill. Thank you so much to your community partners for helping you out. So, okay, let's talk about the Workforce Center. Okay, and I know that Dr. Lisa Pacheco here, you made that as a dissertation in your doctorate, right? So there's a lot of workforces like this, maybe in different states. Are they part of the Action Coalitions or no?
So that's a very good question.
Yes.
Because, like you said, when I started my degree, I thought that it was I studied the nursing shortage in Nevada, and I thought it was really simple. I boiled it down to something very simple: more nurses in, more nurses out.
Right.
Well, when I started to do my research in that first year, it wasn't as simple as that. One, we have all kinds of reasons why our students don't stay here, why the more students in, more students out doesn't work. I can go on for hours to tell you all the reasons, but the reality is that it's a very complex issue, the workforce, and especially in Nevada, because we have been a transient state.
Right.
And so we have to work and have to be flexible. So what we found with our workforce center was that we needed to make sure that there's certain things that we have information to. Well, as we looked into it, and this is where my dissertation really took a deep dive, was I realized that we had to be part of the workforce. We had to be part of this whole conversation that's going on. So there's the National Forum of Nurse Workforce,
Centers.
I'm going to get this name wrong. Please edit this correctly. The National Forum of State Workforce Centers. It's a very long name,
wow.
And it's hard to get it in order,
okay.
So I always have to repeat it. But we weren't part of that. We were this big, gaping white spot on the United States map.
Yes.
On the West Coast that we weren't involved. So we worked really hard, and we got all of our ducks in a row, because we had been invited to be part of it previously, but we just weren't ready. So we worked really hard, got our information together, and in March of this year, Nevada got put on the map.
Oh, nice.
So,
very good.
We worked very hard at that over the last couple of years, and we are now part of the National Forum for State Nurse Workforces. There are 40 of them currently,
40?
And
okay.
they usually come out of an action coalition, because that's kind of what they're geared towards. So our workforce center, we are looking at the whole continuum. We look at feeding the pipeline, and that means kindergarten to 12. So we do teddy bear clinics to get children to start thinking about jobs and careers in healthcare. It doesn't have to be a nurse, although I think everybody should be a nurse. But we have that. We have teen clinics where we take kids and we talk about healthcare careers again. Then we join others when they're getting ready to graduate, and we talk about careers and career fairs, and we try and get them to go into healthcare careers.
Right.
And also Operation Healthcare Bound.
Operation
we work
Healthcare
with the
Bound
high
is
schools.
so important when you go into
Operation
high schools.
Healthcare Bound.
Balance. Wow.
And it's in the high schools.
And you start from kindergarten. That's awesome.
Got to plant that seed.
Right.
Yes, got to plant it.
Because, think of all the nurses that you worked with who said, I grew up wanting to be a nurse.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're trying to find all of those children who want to say, I grew up wanting to be a nurse.
Right.
There you go.
And so we do the K to 12. And then we look at who's in college and who needs mentors going through the university. Is it something as simple as they have trouble getting their application done? Do they need scholarships? Help them get their education. Help them get educated. Be there for them while they're educating. Part of the programs that Deb is involved in, they have late night chats with their students to help them get through that scary moment.
Right.
That's a type of mentoring. Then you look at we get them, they're a nurse. And then you put them out there that first year, and we all crumble that first year. We're like, this is not what they said it was. What do you mean? I only had 2 patients, and I only had to write 2 care plans.
Okay,
I'm responsible for this whole place, and I'm the only RN, and so they didn't know. And I don't know. I know that I said about 6 months into my career, this is not what they told me it would be.
Right.
So we helped them get over that hump. Now we've got us an experienced nurse, been there a couple years, and now she's tired. So now we need to help keep her energized, help her find her space in nursing. Is it maternal child? Is it cancer? Is it education? Where is it? Help them find that where they can blossom and grow. Or maybe they want a career change. So help them find that. And then this is my big thing is that as we went through the pandemic, we talked about resilience. Well, resilience is snapping back. And I felt like as I looked at this really hard that we as nurses should not be expected to snap back. We need recovery. We need recovery.
Right.
So I started talking about it in efforts of recovery, not resilience. Because we have to recover before we can be resilient.
Correct.
So we have to have those education and groups that cater to that, that cater to helping keep us mentally capable of caring for others and emotionally capable of caring for others. Because it's easy to get lost when you're doing those 12-hour days and you're saving lives all day long.
Right. Yes. And a lot of nurses don't realize that they need the help themselves. So, this is really a very important thing. So that was part of your research in doing the workforce, correct? So you think that it's really important.
Workforce is extremely important, and investment in it is extremely important because we have to build our workforce. I'll tell you, our biggest problem right now in Nevada is we don't know what we don't know. So if you go, and I spent years pulling data on the nurse workforce in Nevada. I cannot tell you how many nurses are actually working because are they at the bedside? All you can tell is that they've got a license. You can't tell where they're working. You can't tell what their specialty is. You don't know how long they're going to be around. You don't know whether they're a novice nurse, an experienced nurse. Are they live here? You can't even easily tell whether or not they're located in Nevada.
In
they
Nevada,
just have a nursing license.
Right.
So that's our biggest problem, in my view, at this point in time for workforce, is we don't know what we don't know. How can you fill the gaps if you don't know what the gap is? So we have to. That's our first, in my opinion, that is our first goal, is to get that data so that we have it, and you can get that data. Oregon, Colorado, all of those states they are drilling down into the fine numbers. How many nurses do they need? And then they go a step further. Oregon goes a step further, and they look at what do we need 10 years from now? What do we need 5 years from now? Is our population growing? You can look at population and figure out, do you need geriatrics? Do you need pediatrics? What do you need? Because you don't want to fill your state up with a bunch of pediatric nurses when you've got an aging population, because you're going to have to
like
train
a retirement
them later to be
state,
geriatric nurses.
Yes.
So we have to know those gaps to be able to fill them, and I would say that that's our biggest hurdle right now. I think that the biggest, greatest thing that I'm so proud to say about Nevada is we have excellent NCLEX rates. Our NCLEX rates have consistently, as I've looked at it through the years, have consistently been well above the nation in our rates. So it means we're giving good education. So we've got to figure out how to hold those nurses here and have them be the great nurses here in Nevada and not leave.
And that is great information. And also, just a segue into it, NCLEX, actually one of the organizers, advisors of NCLEX actually lives here, Dr. J. Tan, right?
Yes. Maybe that's why we're so grateful.
Maybe
maybe that's why. I don't know.
That could be.
Hey, Jay, just a plug for you. You know.
Intent.
Stay here.
Yeah, don't leave.
Oh, he's staying here. He's not leaving. Anyways, so thank you for that. We appreciate the information and the research that you have undertaken about the workforce. Now, Deb, so what's the status of our Nevada nursing workforce? How are you coping? What are your challenges and all that?
Well, I think with what Lisa just said, it's finding out what we truly need, because a lot of our healthcare providers are stating that we have enough, and we really don't know what we have. So until we have that number, that's a challenge. And I think the other is keeping our young nurses here. They are going through school, they get on the floor, it's overwhelming, and they just leave nursing altogether. So we have to make sure that we have that mentoring, that we have that support for them. We've had gap programs that we've had that have helped a lot of our nursing students, especially for the ones that go through school for 4 years and can't land a position. There's something missing.
Yes.
So we had the GAP program that helped them work on their soft skills, work on their skills, their nursing skills, and then we had a hospital that worked with them and then also hired him. So we have to look at programs that keep them there. And also for us that are older and retired, we need to really go back and grab a hand and really help our youngsters, because
yes.
I have a daughter that's in nursing school now.
Yeah.
And it is a challenge for her, working, going to school full time, and we don't make it easy for our students.
That is the truth.
So we, as nurses and our institutions, we need to do a better job as well to maintain and keep our students there. So that's the other. And also recruitment. Recruitment of diversity, which is so important.
Yes.
When patients have someone that looks like them and understands their culture, they have better outcomes. And so it's that as well. But we have a lot of work to do, but I believe that with the Workforce Center that we're going to do it. We're just dug in now, and we're going to be successful. We've always been successful in everything that we do.
Right.
So that's what I believe.
Very good. And you have an office, right?
Yes.
And where's that located?
Our office is at Chamberlain.
Oh.
Yes. So one thing about the Action Coalition is that we are bipartisan. We work across the board with everything. Everyone, public, private. So we are at Chamberlain University. That's where our office is located.
That is good to know, because
Yes.
I think I visited the workforce a couple of years back, and you weren't there yet.
Right. And we were at NSHE.
Yes.
Nevada
correct.
System of Higher Ed.
Very good, very good. So I know that you also have, this is great to know about the Workforce Nevada Hope and all the other activities of Nevada Action Coalition. I know we cannot name them all, but it's an organization that you need to look into. Okay, and I know you also have advocates for the Nevada Action Coalition, some well-known members of the community, like Assemblywoman Sandra Huarego. Okay, and I think you honored Marlene Lee.
We did.
Yes,
We did.
and
Yeah, we did.
Dr. John Parkham.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep,
and they
John
are
Parkham.
advocates of the Nevada Action Coalition. Very good. Anyone else you need to mention?
Oh my gosh, Vance Farrell, who's with GoEd.
Vance Farrell.
Economic
yes.
Development has been super to help us. We work with long-term care associations. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yes.
And I think,
Congressman Horsford.
yes,
Yes.
Stephen Horsford.
Yes.
Susie Lee.
Right.
They pick up
Right.
the phone anytime we
Yep.
call, and they're always willing to meet with us and help us. They're huge advocates for nursing.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much to all those advocates. So if one were to be interested in joining NAC or offering their help, what should they do?
They should go to our website
Okay.
at nevadaactioncoalition.org, and they can fill out an interest form, and we will get directly with them and bring them into the fold. The more the barrier. We're a small group but mighty.
That is true. That is true. So Nevada Action, www.nevadaactioncoalition.org. Ladies and
Correct.
gentlemen, there's where you can find all the information that you would need to join this organization. So anyway, what is the final question for you guys? What is your general message to the public regarding Nevada Action Coalition, how to get involved, and why we need to get involved?
Well, I think for me to be a part of it is being a nurse, looking at workforce, looking at health equity, which is important, making sure that Nevadans are safe when you go to the hospital, having enough skilled, compassionate, empathetic healthcare professionals is very important to me.
Yes,
and
yes.
a diverse population healthcare.
correct.
That's important
Correct.
to me.
And health equity is really, really
Oh, it's
important.
huge.
Huge. So
It's huge.
that's right. And Lisa, what's
I
your
think for
final
me,
message?
mentoring has always been a huge issue, because without mentors, I would have never been anywhere. So I place a lot of value in mentoring. I had the distinct privilege of meeting our Surgeon General, Carmona, many years ago in Washington, D.C. And something he said to me really rings very deeply in my heart. Is he said, when you reach the top, you have a responsibility
Yes.
to get back in that elevator, push the down button, open that door, and bring somebody back up with you. And I feel like I've tried to do
Wow.
that most of my career, and
Yes.
I continue to do that,
Yes.
and I thrive in that in that space trying to uplift somebody, help
Yes.
guide them, help encourage them.
Right.
We've all had that moment, and it's always nice when you have that mentor. So for me, I think that's the part that I love most about the
Yes.
Nevada Action Coalition is we're rooted in mentoring.
Very good, very good. Well, ladies, I cannot thank you enough for coming over and becoming part of the FILIPINARS, recording an episode for us, and also to disseminate information about the Nevada Action Coalition, which is an organization that is near and dear to my heart. So anyway, thank you so much for coming today. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Doris,
Thank you,
and
Doris.
thank you for your support.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
We
So
couldn't
glad
do a
you're
lot.
part of us.
Yes, we couldn't do
Anytime.
what we do without you.
Oh,
So thank you.
I try. Okay. I know that we said we cannot mention all of the activities of the Nevada Action Coalition, and perhaps we can show you some pictures of some of these activities that they do. So thank you very much again to the Nevada Action Coalition for all they do, Dr. Pacheco and Ms. Deborah Collins. And to our FILIPINARS audience, we leave you with this. The Nevada Action Coalition continues to be the driving force for transforming healthcare through nursing in our state. And recognizing the importance of this work that's being done with a goal of long-term sustainable change, the Nevada Action Coalition continues to lead the way in improving the health of all Nevadans. So please check them out. Check out the Action Coalition in your own state and find out all about how you can get into the action. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you for giving us the privilege of your time. This is Doris Bauer, your FILIPINARS host, signing off for now.
The Philippine Nurses Association of Nevada has just brought you FILIPINARS, news and features about the Filipino American nursing community and beyond.